Hey everybody, welcome to a special episode of the ZeroHP podcast. This is episode freaking 28, and Mason is not here, and I have my good friend Doug.
Hey,
Welcome.
what's up everybody?
Welcome, man.
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Happy to have you on our podcast, your first time. We've been talking about getting you on this podcast for like weeks, months.
Oh,
now.
yeah, months, definitely.
You should join us, man. Yeah, sure, sometime.
I think there's even been plugs of me inside different podcasts saying that I need to come on
during
and
Overwatch
talking about Overwatch.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when we talk about Game of Thrones, we always talk about Drew, because he like read all the books and he's always talking to me about it. And then anytime we talk Overwatch, we're like, yeah, well, Doug, and we tell all the stories about you and us playing Overwatch and shit. So that's basically, we only have one major topic. But before we get to the major topic, have you been playing Overwatch at all recently at all?
Yeah, I've been playing it here and there. I mean, I just jumped into the current season that just started, late last month? Yeah. It's been a lot better experience than the previous season. Previous season was so rough. They finally fixed a lot of the main issues with the matchmaking. I feel like
what do those fixes include?
With placement matches now, you're not being ranked with people who are lower skill than you. They originally had an issue with the system where it was ranking people a little below their skill level, but what was really happening is it was putting you with lower skilled players, and it wasn't helping you progress. You were getting teammates who weren't really caring as much. The other thing they fixed with placement matches, which is nice too, is it is the system that they have that judges where you get scored is more even now. It's more based on where you're ranked in the first 25% of the character totals in your placement. If you are in gold and you play Diva, you want to try to hit top 25% in the whole entire league, and that's how you're going to advance up with that exact character.
Okay, so they're kind of queuing in now on play your role even more, which is what the whole point is in the first place.
And that's what the whole issue has been with multiplayers. People don't always know what their role is.
Right. Yeah, and they're just like, I just want to play McCree.
And I gotta say though, it's pretty funny that you bring me on the podcast to talk about a totally different game. Well, I always like to start if you listen to our podcast, we always have like a main subject, but usually like to throw in like a little intro thing there. It's usually what we're playing, but if I ask you what you're playing, we're gonna get straight into the subject. So as we hit record, I was like, well, in order to do that kind of like intro thing, I should probably ask him a little more about Overwatch first before we get into the meat and potatoes right now. So I guess we can just jump right in. We are talking about Destiny 2 pretty much for the next 45-ish minutes, because Doug and I are both Destiny haters. Is that fair? I wouldn't say we're haters. I feel like we, as gamers, have been playing video games for so long. We expect complete packages when we spend $60 and $70, and we're not willing to accept the creativity. I shouldn't say creativity. We aren't willing to accept them handing us a 25% finished product. Yeah. And saying that it's good and that you all should love it and you shouldn't have any complaints. And that's what they tried to do with the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they hyped it up so much, too. Like, that was the last game for me that I allowed that original, child gamer hype. You know when you were a kid and you see in your, a Game Informer magazine a game that's coming out and you're like, you're just and then all you can think about, you look online every fucking day for a new article, that almost obsessive thing. Yeah. The last game that I was like that with was Destiny, and that, took my virginity of that. I'm a ruined, jaded man because of the first Destiny, and now I'm I'm not gonna get too excited for anything now.
Exactly.
That's the game that did it to me.
I would completely agree with you on that. And it's so funny that we say it, because there's been so many games over the years that I've gotten that I'm like, this is just so lackluster. It has not been great. Right. And I've been okay to just shoot off and give another game a chance. Yeah. But after that game, specifically,
you're worse than I am with
the way they specifically went with handing out the DLC. Yeah. Saying that the way that they went with the creativity was the right way, and not owning up to any of the problems with the game launched with, just blew my mind. And from a company too, like Bungie. I mean, Bungie having, I mean, at least they used to have the quality of customer service. They were known for that. They fixed problems right away with their games. I remember with Halo, people would find exploits and find issues within the game, and they would patch that stuff within 24 to 48 hours. I felt like Destiny took months.
Way longer. Well, how much of that do you think is more due to having Activision as your parent to Microsoft?
I don't know. I mean, the only reason I would say maybe it has to do with that is because Microsoft's directly involved with the Xbox.
Yeah, so and Halo
being
flagship.
Exactly. They're more willing to throw their resources at getting stuff fixed right away, potentially, because they don't want to deal with that.
Right.
But I still being one of the bigger companies out there and owning a lot of the majority of the landscape of gaming. They have Blizzard under them now. They have Bungie.
Yeah.
They have so many
Activision's ridiculous.
Yeah. They have a
They're
staple.
Scary big.
Mm-hmm. They have a staple. So I mean, you'd think at that point there would be some kind of pull there to get stuff done fairly quick.
I had this thought just now of like how big they are, and then it's like Amazon buys Activision. And they just go around buying everything. Yeah. I don't know why that came to my mind.
Amazon Games.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're already, if you honestly think about it, they're headed that way. They already have bought into Twitch.
Yeah.
I think they own part of Twitch now.
Jeez.
Because now with your with their Prime membership, you get to subscribe to somebody on Twitch for free.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so they're like kind of creeping their way.
Oh yeah, they creep their way in everything. Look, dude, they're gonna be sending you groceries soon.
Yeah, well, they will from Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, man.
But yeah, as far as like with the original Destiny, the other thing too that pissed me off is not just that they didn't execute on the things I was expecting. Like I wasn't just some asshole expecting from nothing. Like the things that they talked about in the lead up to the release, they even showed cutscenes that weren't actually in the game. Mm-hmm. They showed dialogue that wasn't in the game, and then I learned way later that they had Joseph Staten, the guy who wrote all the Halo stories, at least for the most part, and created that universe, did the same thing for Destiny. For whatever reason, they all hated it, fired him, scrapped it, and redid it all within the last year of release. And that's why it was such shit. And so I was like, I just couldn't. I felt so betrayed by that because they actually had apparently they had a good story, and someone made the decision like, no, we don't like this. We want to have this random lady say, I don't have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
Yeah, dude, and I think that was also the big killer with that game is, I play video games, especially if I'm playing a single player game, I expect to play the single player game and get a story out of it.
Yeah. I
don't expect that I'm going to play the single player game and then have to go online or buy a book or find something to actually understand what I just played. And
so stupid.
Like even now with Destiny 2, even as much fun as I'm having with it, I wish I had so much more knowledge on this lore.
Like some background content.
Because I feel like there's these alien factions that are attacking you, but I have no understanding of why they're there attacking you.
Yeah.
I just understand that they hate them and they want what they have because they have the light.
They have whatever the light is. I mean, it's all very abstract.
Basically, from what I've understood from what I've played from the game, light is basically like a giant sun. It's like a giant orb that basically if you kind of almost in some ways think of mythology a little bit, and I forget what I don't know which exactly mythology it is, but I know there's mythology where the sun, when the sun would shine, Titans would have power. It would give them increased power and increased strength, and that's kind of what this does. Somebody who's a normal person, if this light is touching you or you have the light, you have this increased strength, increased power, or in this case, you're a guardian.
Right, in a guardian. So how many hours-ish do you think you are right now?
Well, I'm level 17.
Okay. So I'm dude, you were 13 when I saw you today, a few hours ago.
Told you, I was cruising, dude.
That's awesome.
I literally dedicated now.
So
I've dedicated a good 13 to 14 hours in this game. Wow. Maybe a little less. Maybe more like 12.
So quality of story, what? Because I'm 3 hours in. I've seen the first 3 story missions.
Yes.
The first thing that hit me is there's a cutscene where 2 villains are talking back and forth. They're having actual dialogue, and I was like, this is awesome. Does that continue? Like, do they do a good job? Does it feel like that? As far as you are in the story, does it still feel like a story, or does it get more and more Destiny-ized as you move on?
I would say the story continues. It keeps pushing through. You still get the enjoyment of the cutscenes and seeing what's going on and stuff like that. I will admit there's points in the story where I'm like, this is totally flushed out as a Destiny game because I'm sitting here just emptying drum after drum after drum of ammunition into something, and it just doesn't want to go down. Or I am playing a single player mission because I don't have anybody to play strike team right now to run story with.
Right.
So I've been playing single player, and there's parts in that story where I really feel like if you don't have that second or third person, it's very hairy because they drop 25 enemies right on top of you, and you're having to fend them all off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But as far as story goes, I was going to get into this maybe a little further in,
we
but
can change.
I mean, this is kind of
to me, that was the number one thing I didn't like about it. And that's why I asked you first, because that's the main thing that really turned me off.
I've finally, in the game, gotten to a story mission that I can honestly say I was like, this was a good story mission. This was actually fun to me.
There's shit going on.
Exactly. And not even so much as that. Everybody already knows this character. Cade.
Cool. He's in the mission?
He's in the mission. What it is basically one of the missions you are set out to go rescue Cade. You have to go find him finally. Because after you saw one in the beginning game, when the cutscene happened, everybody got separated.
Yeah,
basically.
the part of the beta.
You got kicked off the planet.
Yeah, I kind of like the sort of like Empire Strikes Back. The bad guys come in, kick ass, and it's very like you start from the bottom, again, which is awesome. And
that's kind of like what I wish we would have gotten out of Destiny 1.
The first time
is if we would have gotten like a main story and it finished off as you finishing up at the tower and being this like high guard hero basically, and the game ends and then we open up to this.
Yeah.
I would have told you, you've got me sold.
It would have meant more.
It would have meant more. It would have made me feel more like what we were all hoping for originally, which was a Halo-esque game. I'm going to keep going back to that because when I keep playing this game, I see so much Halo in this game.
It feels so much more Halo than the first Destiny.
It does.
The multiplayer alone. Awesome.
Multiplayer alone it feels like Halo. Dude. Being able to 2 and 3 jump shot and being able to stagger shot, just like Halo 2, like it's fantastic.
Hell yeah, man! It's like Crucible. I've only played a couple matches just with you today, but like something you mentioned, like it was like last week or whatever before we played it. Was that you always liked Destiny because when you first started in Crucible, before all the levels came into play, you could just go in and kick ass for whatever reason like that. And like, I'm not good at shooters at all. I didn't do so bad. Like, I feel like I'm actually okay at Crucible, which is weird for me. Like when we play Battlefield, I got my ass kicked. Dude, I'm terrible at Battlefield, man.
Well, and I can kind of maybe give you a little bit justification on that. The reason you're playing so much better at this game too is there's nothing in this game with as far as the weapons go. There's no recoil. Guns in this game have basically zero to none recoil.
That's a good point.
You in games like Battlefield, even Star Wars Battlefront, stuff like that, guns have a sway ability to them. Yeah. So you have to learn that motion of correcting your shot. With this game, which is beautiful and why you still love Halo, is you can get your shot, and if you're aiming at somebody, you're putting bullets on them.
Right.
And I feel like this game totally lives up to being able to do that. I feel like when I'm shooting somebody across the map, I'm hitting them. If I miss that shot, it's because I totally missed.
Because they went right and you went left or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is true.
Except
for the pistols.
Yeah.
Pistols are the only ones I'm like, Jesus.
Well, actually, speaking of pistols, I actually wasn't a big fan of hand cannons in the last game.
Neither was I.
Okay.
Neither was I.
I absolutely love the burst pistols in this game. They are so awesome. They are like literally remind me of. I guess I don't know if you played a lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, but there was a pistol in that game that was I think it was an TAC-9, and it was a burst shot. And I used to love that, and the pistols feel just like that in this game. Like just the way they shoot, the way they feel, they're fantastic. So I'm really excited to get to the end game to get some of the epic gear.
Is it level 20 cap right now?
Yes, level 20 cap, and then there's another thing where you get the power levels. That blue little...
The light level?
Light level, yes. Raising your light levels is the next
So they're pulling the same shit again.
Well, yeah, they're going to. I mean,
Raise the level cap with another huge thing that comes out.
And it's totally expected. I mean, here's what they totally did with this game is they went back to the drawing board with the fundamentals of how they wanted this game to play. This game is now playing how the first one should have played. Okay. I feel like now we're going to have to wait and see what they do with it going forward as far as the DLC comes. I will not.
You don't buy DLC unless it's like
yes. Game. I'm very stingy when it comes to DLC. It has
Which is good. I mean, I think it's a good thing.
I mean, it has to be, and like I said, I think from what I've seen, I'm excited that we're going to be getting our first actual, what do they call it, raid coming soon.
Do you have any idea when that is?
It's coming actually towards the end of this month.
Oh, shit. Okay,
so cool. We'll be getting it pretty soon. They're expecting people to get geared up by then.
God, I'm going to have to buy it because we both rented this.
Yes, I know. Exactly. That's the best part about this whole podcast. We're playing off of rented copies of this game. We didn't even commit to this.
I couldn't.
We were so afraid of committing. Like, I've never had more commitment issues in my life.
I know, man. It's terrible, dude. The more I saw, there's always that little demon in there that wants me to just buy fucking everything that comes onto my Xbox. Like, get Madden. I don't want to get Madden. It's Madden. You know, I don't know. Hold on.
I've done this already.
Wait, do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you buy it, and then you play it, and like a month later, you're like, what the fuck did I do buy this game?
Exactly.
So I held off on Destiny 2, and now I played it and rented it. I'm like, well, fuck, I think I should have just bought this shit.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel too, but I'm happy that I did it. I'm happy I'm getting to try everything out. I'm also excited too, though, because this is also giving me the chance to get towards the end game, because that's what I've been pushing towards. Because honestly, that's where my review really of this game is going to come in. After I'm done with the story,
the end game.
What can I do after I'm finished? Because as everybody wants to say, this game has a story, but the whole point of this game was to be a shooter MMO.
Right.
So I feel like
a loot-based.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like there should be an endgame. If anything, it should at least have Borderlands-esque endgame material.
I'm not a huge, not that I dislike Borderlands, I just, for a reason, I never really played much of them. So, what would you hope would be like?
Well, I mean, within Borderlands, you would finish the main storyline, and there would still be side quests to go finish, like with most RPG games like that. But the other thing is, too, is they would unlock other missions that were harder or replayable missions, but they were much harder and they offered much bigger rewards the second time around.
Okay.
I felt like Destiny 1 was very complacent in the fact that you would play a mission and it was the same exact thing over and over and over again. There was no level up of how hard the enemies really were.
Yeah, they spawn in the same place.
Exactly.
The same groups, the same numbers.
And you would watch people who streamed that game, who ran strike groups, who basically had it figured out and timed out where everything was going to be, and they'd run that 50 times to get one piece of armor. Thankfully, in this version of the game with Destiny 2 coming out, it doesn't seem to be that bad.
Yeah, how is the RNG loot shit? Because I was upset about that, especially, I don't know if you remember the Ingrams.
Mm-hmm.
You would they ended up fixing this later on because it was so many complaints. You would get a legendary purple Engram, take it to the cryptologist or whatever she was, or whatever they're called, the crypto person, and they would create it into an item, and it would be a green. And you had a legendary purple.
Yes,
I remember. What the fuck is that?
It was very random.
It's horrible.
As far as that goes, I haven't ran anything ridiculous like that.
No, they treat you a little better.
They treat you a little bit better. I feel like gear is given to you in a decent moderation. I wish there was more gear being dropped in instances, because I feel like I'm running with level 12 gear still, and I'm 17.
Oh, really?
There are pieces that I'm running like that. Well, here's a good one for you. I got, and you'll probably get this at one point. There's a mission where you'll complete it and you get a legendary item. And I got a legendary chest because it had the best stat for the hunter for what I was using it for, which was the Phoenix shot.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And so what I was using that up until level 15, and it was a level 4 item.
Shit.
But the reason I was using it is because of the stat-based item that I had. I had so much good stats with it, I didn't feel like changing it. So what? The armor's a little low.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me as long as the stats are good.
No, and depending on the weapons you use, like as a hunter, for me, I'm always kind of scoped medium to long range.
Yeah, you're staying away anyway, so you can kind of strafe. So, I mean, that's really cool. There's a couple of things I can mention that we could kind of talk about that would be that are going on in the community that have been issues.
Okay.
One of the big community issues right now is, and me and you love to complain about this all the time, is microtransactions.
Yeah, Jesus.
They love to rear their ugly head, and they did so in this game. And the best part is, people like you and I aren't even people that would be upset about this, but the hardcore Destiny fans are threatening to turn off their Xboxes and not play the game anymore.
I mean,
because what they did was they made it so that they had these shaders, and
That's
back
the
in
thing.
Destiny 1, shaders, you could get a color shader and you could use it as much as you wanted. If you got a black and purple shader, you could get new armor and switch it and switch it and switch it. Well, in this one, shaders are consumable. So you put it on a piece of armor and it's gone forever. So I've gotten like 20 shaders total.
You get more drops?
You get more drops of them, but here's the thing. I won't use them. Because I'm like, I'm not going to use this on my gear. I don't want to waste them.
Yeah.
Because I feel bad. Now, that's the issue I'm having. I don't have an issue that they're selling them. Because I've played too many games recently where cosmetics have been for sale and they don't affect the game.
I agree. I would agree with that. If this were a game, if this were Destiny 1, and this is how it works, I'd be like, that's kind of annoying, but fine. But to actually like move backwards, where at one point in an earlier game, you get it, and then in the sequel they take it away. That's the where my issue lies with that. Is like,
and you know what? And that's where everybody's issue lies. That everybody's like they don't understand it, and
it feels nasty.
Bungie, being the wonderful people they are, they have the worst PR team right now. If you want some hilarity, go read their Twitter. Their PR team for their Twitter at least is terrible.
Are they just being like mean?
Well, not just me. Well, they're defensive. They're always defensive, and most creators are. But they put out with this game, when everybody was complaining about this, they put out a whole entire tweet out stating that, don't worry, this is all part of the game. We're doing this on purpose, and we've made sure that we are giving you guys plenty of shaders, and they're going to drop by the boatload. From what I'm hearing, that's not necessarily the case. They consistently drop, but the issues you're going to run into too is like what I talked about with my brother actually the other days. It sucks if you only can get 3 shader colors, but you want to match all the shades. So you're telling me I'm going to have to grind out somewhere potentially forever to find those other 2 shaders that I need to color my boots or my helmet?
Well, that's the thing that sucks too, because like you can color your whole set of armor, go into a strike and get a legendary helmet. Yeah, and now your helmet's fucking blue and then you've got all this red or black or whatever, and now I can't fucking change it because you want to make an extra buck off of me. It just that drives me the wrong. I have to wash my hands, man.
Yeah, and I mean, now to throw it out there, there's other stuff in them microtransactions that I don't like. One thing that they did in there, a lot of people didn't realize, and it still hasn't been brought to a lot of people's attention because not everybody's level 20, nobody's at the end game. You can purchase armor mods with money.
Armor mods.
So, like, you can basically, but here's the thing. You can also earn those armor mods. So they're not locked behind a paywall where it's like, if you don't have the money, you can't get them.
Right.
I will respect the game for what it is, and I will say this much. As long as they don't put a paywall up, start saying that you can only get this stuff from a paywall, I won't have a problem with it. I won't ever purchase the stuff myself. I will never go and buy that stuff. I won't support it. But I'm not going to demolish a game and throw it completely under a bus or something like that. Yeah. Unless it's something like you've told me about, like with the Lord of the Rings game, where you can purchase
experience you can purchase XP for a single player RPG. Oh my god. Yeah, that's brutal.
So like something like that, if they did something stupid like that,
I'll show you a video of this.
I'd have to wash my hands of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what I was afraid of with this game. I was worried there was going to be either looted microtransactions or literally I was playing Destiny 1. What I'm playing right now is Destiny 1.5. This game is exactly...
I have a question for you because you said that earlier, like yesterday or whatever it was at work, very recently. And like before you played this game, you were saying this looks like shit because it looks like 1.5. Mm-hmm. And now you like it, but you're still saying it's 1.5.
I am saying it's 1.5.
So how did that change where you still think it's 1.5, but that's no longer a negative? Where it was a
I mean, we've had this conversation where I told you when I played the beta. I absolutely enjoyed the multiplayer. The multiplayer just grabbed me and pulled me in because I've always been one of those people, I don't like games, especially multiplayer games, where I play with a huge squad and I have to rely on 12 other teammates to do their job.
Which will never happen.
Which will never happen.
Unless you have 12 friends.
Exactly. And like playing Call of Duty or something like that, even with teams that are seven players, it's hard to play a good, solid game with 7 players.
It is.
So with this game, being able to play with 4 players, it's easier to get a group. And number 2, playing more by yourself is okay. I've been able to play games where I've been down me against 3-on-4 and still came back and won.
With 3 randos that aren't talking.
Yes, exactly. And I'm talking 2 randos, me plus 2 others, where I've been 4-on-3 and I've still been able to come back because I'm playing and doing my job and I'm fighting them off.
Right.
I feel like in this game, if you lose, you're losing on your own skill merit. There's no longer things in this game where I had issues in the last one where you were dealing with people who were running rocket launcher classes and stuff like that.
It was so imbalanced. Like, people had like, I mean, they always said in the first Destiny, like, oh, it's all leveled and stuff. Like, it might be leveled, but the weapons inherently are not. Regardless if they're level 40 or 1, maybe the actual damage output is leveled so that 1 can fight 40, but 1s don't have the fucking Gallhorn. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So maybe it's leveled and damaged, but I don't even have that fucking thing.
Or like people didn't have like the assault rifle, like the Spitfire, where it was a burst rifle. It shot 2 times as fast as a normal burst rifle.
Yeah, I mean, it has the same damage output as a level 1 auto rifle. Well, who cares?
Yeah,
it shoots twice as fast still. I didn't like that at all.
So, I mean, with Destiny 2, everything's leveled. Weapons are leveled. The biggest issue with multiplayer I'm having, and you haven't ran into this yet, you thought it was cool, I'm still on the fence with it. I don't like swords in multiplayer games. I don't like where you can go third person and run around with a sword in a first person shooter. Because at that point, you're getting an advantage. You can corner spot. I've watched players already starting to learn how to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Where they'll sit on the edge of a corner of a map, and they'll be sitting there just standing, waiting for you to come around that corner because they can see. You can't peek them. So that is an issue I have with it. I honestly believe if we ever see competitive, like actual true competitive multiplayer, they will disable swords in ranked because it's fun. It's fun. It is fun to run around with that thing.
It's very Halo 2.
I'm excited because before I haven't even gotten to play with it yet. Before I came over here and got off my Xbox, I unlocked a blue sword finally, and it looks really cool. I haven't gotten to play with it yet.
Are they like energy swords or
no? They actually look like a steel sword.
Every time I've seen one, it's been in half a second. We're like, oh, I'm dead.
They're like a steel sword, basically.
Okay.
It's not like something real like epic Halo where you have an energy sword. Because they couldn't do that because the Warlock has that. The Warlock has that fire sword.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, it's really fun with that. People abuse it.
Well, yeah.
But
use it.
But the good thing is there is a heavy ammo drop, so you have to get the heavy ammo to get the super effect off
that's
of it.
Good.
But people are still learning how to just use the regular melee, the basic melee, to wreck house.
Well, melee is powerful in and of itself. It always has been in Bungie shooters. Like, it's a big part of the gameplay.
Yeah.
Because it feels so good. Destiny 1 and this one, like, you fire a couple rounds of stabbing them with a knife. Oh, God. It's, like, the core gameplay of this game, like, even in Destiny 1 for me, is pretty much unchanged. Like, it feels very similar. The weapons look and move and fire and, like, all of that is almost the same, but that was never an issue I had. Like, this game's fun.
Oh, yeah. It's played out. It's awesome.
It's a great first-person shooter.
Yeah. I mean, I think the one thing that I will just say that drove me nuts with single player is that they have so many characters that you're running into and you're being pulled in a lot of different directions and plans and stuff like that.
You're just like everyone's bitch?
You are. You become an errand boy really fast. And I think that they need to also look at the fact that if they make a Destiny 3, which we'll be getting,
absolutely,
they need to look at how they design their enemy AI. we're in 2017. Enemies should not. We should not be playing AI that's so basic. That's
really
that's
Halo.
the biggest problem. And even not even Halo was more intelligent. At least when I felt like I was fighting the Covenant and stuff like that, they would do some stuff here and there, not all the time. That was off the wall. That they would do, like, I would have a grunt that would come running in with 2 grenades like this and blow up. Right. Or you'd have one that would be using a turret and then go back to using their pistol. Stuff like this. This game, they set up a certain way, and that's how they set up. You'll have certain enemies that will come in and try to crash on you, but they crash in on the same way. I found out in one of the single-player matches I was playing, the quest I was on had a no respawn. You know how it says you can't respawn anymore? Well, I found a way that I could stand between this one pillar, and if I came out to the left side and shot, came out to the right side and shot, nobody could get me because it kept crossing each other up.
And they couldn't figure it out.
They couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
So that in itself, I'm just like, it takes me out of the world.
Do you think that's because they have like so much other, and this is not an excuse, it's just trying to think of a reason why they would have that shitty AI. Is like, there's so many other systems going on, like between Crucible and like strikes and raids.
I can't take it as like that because the problem is your focal point is your single player. An RPG game like that, it really should be. So I can't give them that because this isn't.
No,
this isn't Overwatch.
But why do you think that would happen? Like what? I mean, I just don't understand how.
I think it's a design choice. Yeah. I mean, it really comes down to a design board. They looked at it as, well, we're going to make these maps a certain way, so the AI's got to react a certain way to the way the maps are configured. If they go back and try to smarten up the AI, they're going to have to change the level platform because you're going to be sitting on the...
break it.
Well, they'll break it. You'll be sitting down on the ground, and they'll just rain upon you, and you will never have a chance. It's all... was design choice.
Okay.
They just made a poor design choice with how they wanted to do their maps.
Could even just be the smallest pulls of a few strings, and it could change the whole feeling.
Exactly. I mean, and I think the other thing that I still have an issue with Destiny 1 and single player is the way they...
Oh, the first one?
Well, not the first one. I mean the second one.
Oh.
Apologies.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Is that the way checkpoints work. Finding where objectives and stuff are in that game at times can be tricky because the game doesn't talk to you very much. Mm-mm. It will give you this little cutscene and it will talk for a few minutes and then it'll be like, oh, now you need to go to this little bleep on the map.
Here you go!
And then you just start walking that way and you can have, like, the one I was on had, like, 4 different towers. I'm, like, jumping around to each one trying to get to the right one. And I get there and I'm on the outside of it, but I gotta get in the inside. And I'm trying to find my way around to get into the inside and it's just not very well,
like the actual level
design isn't well thought out.
Yeah, it doesn't give you those kind of subconscious cues of like, okay, going this way. Okay, going this way. You know,
exactly. Like, and there's just
that's what like the Uncharted games. And I'm not going to start talking about Uncharted. I'm just going to say like that like Naughty Dog is so good at that.
Oh yeah,
like, you get it. It might even be a big open world, but like you're going to find your way where you need to go so easily. But it doesn't feel like here's a narrow path. Well, it's like that perfect sort of like. They know how to trick you into thinking you're finding it yourself when they're just pushing you along a straight line.
And I think there is companies that are just really, really good at level. That's their thing. And then I will agree with you. I think Naughty Dog also has had so much time to perfect it.
Oh, a long time.
Forever.
Bungie's been around for a while, for almost as long.
And that's what kills me too with this, is to go from the Halo 2 landscape of their maps, having some of the best maps
ever.
Yeah. I mean...
3 was good too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I will admit, I played 1 through 3 religiously.
Me too.
I mean, it was after that I kind of fell off.
Well, yeah, but that's Bungie wasn't making them anymore.
No.
You know, like Reach was good too. I did like Reach. I liked a lot of the maps on that, but yeah.
Reach had a fantastic forge. I think it was the best forge in all of Halo. You could do so much creative stuff in that forge.
We did all kinds of ridiculous.
Oh yeah, there's so much, and you could break the game.
Oh yeah,
and that was one of the great things about the game. But the thing I think with this game is, they don't seem like they're not the same Bungie we were accustomed to. There's a lot of people that work there that don't work there anymore. Well, especially when Activision bought them, a lot of people took their walking boxes because I mean.
Yeah, I've never really understood that move because they're like, we want to leave Microsoft because we want to be independent. And they immediately go sign with the biggest game, like the most giant game publisher in the industry.
Well, like, you think about
trading one devil for another one. It seems like to me.
Gotta get your funding somewhere. Somebody's got to.
Like, there's I mean, you're right. They maybe they had a vision for Destiny already, and they're like, we can't afford this on our own.
Well, exactly, and you're 100% correct on that. Because here's the thing: Bungie at one point went to Microsoft and wanted to create different games. They had plans for other games. They had other stories that they wanted to tell.
Like BioWare.
Yeah. And they went to Microsoft, and Microsoft was like,
Halo.
That's all we want you guys to push out. Yeah. We don't want anything else. And they were...
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah.
They really pushed them hard. And so
but now, don't you think Activision would be like, no, Destiny. It's the only thing.
And that's what they're doing. But I think it's because Bungie, at the end of the day, got what they wanted. Yeah. They wanted to build a world. They wanted to build an MMO. They had at one point had plans of building a Halo MMO.
That would have been crazy. That basically would be this.
Very interesting, yeah.
Because, like, Destiny is its own thing, but it is very similar. Like,
oh, yeah.
Ghosts and Guilty Spark and Spartans and Guardians, and, like, it's super similar.
It's actually funny you say that. There's a video. I don't know if you've been on my Facebook today, but you need to...
Totally have seen it.
You saw the one that
yes. Kind of where I'm getting this, to be honest. That cartoon, right?
Yes, that was great. With Drunk Chief rolling in his warthog.
All worried I was going to forget about him. Yeah, it was great. Like the Guardian pulls up a board with it's a comparison. He's trying to convince everyone that how different they are, and they're like exactly the same. Like Halo had ghosts. Ghosts are stupid. We have what are they called?
Pikes.
Pikes are great. Like the same fucking thing. It is very true. Like, but at the same time, I can't really fault them for that because if you look at other games, like you look at BioWare games, they're built really similar. Like even Inquisition, yeah, it plays it's real time, but it is a lot like Knights of the Old Republic still. Mm-hmm. You know, dialogue options, third person, party based. You have to go to each area, individual of these areas to find a certain thing and get each story mission done in these areas and recruit all of these guys. Mass Effect too. Like yes. BioWare has always had that kind of like, that's the way they build their games.
And I think BioWare...
I can't fault for them.
No, and it's great because, I mean, they have great characters.
Yeah.
You remember characters from those games.
Yeah.
You remember AI characters that you had maybe 4 or 5 lines with in the whole entire game, but you remember who they were. Yeah. Because they were great. And it was 4 or 5 lines. That's one of my issues where I could bring up with Destiny. Is in Destiny 2, it's better. A lot better.
Yeah, there's definitely better.
It's a lot better, but the problem I've had with this game is...
Hawthorne.
Carrie.
And Lewis.
And Carrie.
Lewis the Hawk. Lewis the huge falcon, bro. Or what? No, he's not. He's an eagle.
Yeah, he's an eagle.
Dude,
yeah.
His name is Lewis, though. We just started to listen. I started laughing. It's like, this is Lewis. I'm like, what the fuck? Lewis is the name for this majestic eagle that flew me through the mountains? Like, anyway.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fun. Lewis. That's the character I remember the most so far from Destiny 2 is the eagle.
Is the eagle Lewis.
The eagle is, his name is Lewis. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Exactly,
I threw you off.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, and that's where we've ran into with that game. Where I've ran into that game is at points in the story, I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we just get on with it? Like, can we just... And that's why I was brought back to that whole where I'm at with saving Cade. That mission there, I do care. I'm like, you know what? It's cool. I'm finally
going to Captain Malcolm Reynolds. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta go save Mal. Now, does Zoe help you? Because she's in this too.
Actually, no.
No, okay.
I
love that they randomly end up in this as voice actors in this game, and they were both in that show. It's weird. That's just a weird thing. I don't know, maybe like one of the...
It's always cool when you see that, though. As you see like voice actors from different shows and stuff like that that are from cartoons and movies and games and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that's... And we're kind of going full circle here, which is cool, because maybe not every cutscene will be like this, but like when I was watching that cutscene with Gaul and his like left hand or whatever, and they were talking, I was interested in what they were talking about. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, the dialogue was really good between those two. There are some times where like some of the dialogue is super cheesy. I don't love Nolan North as much as I love Nolan fucking North. I don't love him as the Ghost.
Yeah, I agree.
And you were saying the same thing.
I agree. I liked Peter Dinklage better. I think he was more of a character. Yeah. I think he brought more life to that character. This guy's kind of actually plays as he's a robot. He's a machine.
Straight up.
He plays it as I'm just here bopping around because you're making me bop around kind of thing.
Yeah.
The other Ghost with Peter Dinklage playing that, I felt like he was driving the character. If we could get him in this, it would make it so much better.
I feel like it was the opposite problem. I feel like Dinklage did a better job, but he had shit lines. Whereas like in this one, Nolan North just isn't quite the right fit. The lines seem like they're good.
And there's a couple characters like that. I forget his name because I don't like him at all. There's a guy who we see at the beginning of the game who is beside you. He's the light pale blue Titan.
Well, the actor is amazing, Lance Reddick.
I can't stand how some of his lines are delivered. Like, there's this corny line where where you're going in this part of this mission with Cade.
Yeah.
He's like, we need to assemble the team, and you have to go find the one girl that's missing, and you got to go find Cade. And he's like, I need my strike team.
Oh,
and I'm like, no,
that's bad writing. There's no way that an actor could deliver that.
And he delivered, but the way he delivered it was just so ridiculous because he just like straight up looks straight at the screen. He's just like, I need my strike team. And I'm like, cue the Destiny 2 commercial.
Yeah, right. On sale now. $59.99.
Exactly, dude. Like, I was like, this commercial right now.
It pauses the game, microtransactions come up. Put together your strike team with all these shaders.
Exactly.
$1.99 each.
And
I love Lance Reddick too. Like that's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of good voice actors, but maybe it is the writing.
That's something we should try to look into to see who wrote it. Who wrote this game? Because I'd be interested to see what other projects they've worked.
Because like if you have a cast like this, like Nathan Fillion, Lance Reddick, Nolan North, and like none of them are doing that great, then that's a script problem at that point. But like the Gaul, like he's awesome.
Oh yeah. He's
really good this whole time.
Oh yeah, the whole thing. Exactly. He's as far as the villain goes, you couldn't ask for much more as far as him pressing along the story. The one thing I will say though, and this is just Destiny 2's problem, I can't find a reason to really hate him. Like yeah, you pushed me off the cliff and you destroyed my tower, but why did I care about the tower in the first place? Like,
that was never established.
I got a spaceship, man. I can just go fly to another planet. Like, I guess for lack of a better word.
Well, it's the last city, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just haven't
really, unless you find the farm.
They haven't given us that background, like here's the stakes.
Mm-hmm. And I honestly wish they would have changed some of the naming of the stuff. The
farm, overly simple.
The farm.
It's called the farm.
The farm. I'm gonna go spend time on the farm.
Even the whole thing is
maybe that's why
the darkness is bad.
Maybe that's why our friend got confused and decided to go get Farm Simulator, because when he saw that there was a farm in that game, he didn't understand that farm, that he actually had to farm.
Brett, you motherfucker. Get off of Farming Simulator. Get off of World of Tanks. And get on Destiny 2, man.
But to get off the topic of talking about Brett,
I've called Brett out in this. I talked to Brett in this podcast
several times. But I mean, they should have came up with a better name for that. There's just some things like the planets' names are cool. I mean, that's all fine and good. But to call it the farm, I mean, we could.
The art direction is awesome.
Yes.
Like the armor and the gun, the weapons, and like the look. I like the look of the aliens. Like most of them are really cool.
I want to see more armor variations, though. I feel like we're seeing a lot of. I'll tell you this much: it doesn't
change even as far as you are. Because I'm still in the intro, so I'm like, oh, these are just like the basic Red Legion troops. You're still fighting them?
Well, no. You're talking about the enemy.
I mean, any of them.
I'm talking about Guardians. As far as your Guardians go,
okay.
The armor doesn't. Just like Destiny 1, it doesn't really get, like, crazy. Like, you know how when you play World of Warcraft...
I saw some pretty crazy Destiny 1 at the end after all this DLC. It got pretty fucking insane.
That's probably what we're going to see.
But that's crazy that we always have to wait for fucking a year.
We talked about at the beginning of the game. I told you, you're paying... We're in the era of buying games that are $50 to 60% truly done.
Right.
And it really sucks because we're paying full price with our pockets.
Yeah.
And at the end
of it, we're buying the rest of it.
And we're buying the rest of it overtime, or we're waiting for them to give us the rest of it, if they do.
That'd be nice.
I mean, because let's be honest, we've had games that have promised a whole lot and have totally fall off. I mean,
it's a difficult balance because like there are games out there that will strike this balance of free and paid stuff that will be like, oh yeah, I'll buy it. Like I just came up earlier, Warhammer, Total War games. Like they've come under fire, and they used to have they had some pretty shitty DLC, like small thing. Like, why are you charging me for this? But what they have done with Warhammer is like they'll give you quite a bit of free stuff, even up to like an entire faction that plays really different with a whole campaign and everything for free. So like, I'll buy their DLC when they come out because they do a good job. They give me a ton free. The original game is plenty. And the rest just adds on to it. And I'm okay with buying that.
And I guess my thing is, too, with paying for DLC. I don't have a problem buying DLC. My problem with microtransactions is the fact
that shit is the worst.
Well, even though the fact that I don't even mind games that have a marketplace that you can purchase real stuff from with money if it doesn't affect the game really. Right. Like if I could buy like a cosmetic shader or a pike or something like that that's different or cool looking, right? I don't have a problem with people having a whole marketplace of doing that. The problem that I come under is when they have stuff like that is being necessarily kind of forced on you, or the way I guess I'm looking at it is I don't like the fact that you get randomized.
Yeah.
I was my whole issue with buying, and I have done it, unfortunately, buying crates in Overwatch. I hate the fact that you can buy stuff like that, and you're like, I'm praying to the gods that I get this one pistol or this one gear.
That's gambling.
It is. Oh, it is. It's fully
the same mental thing. That's what it is. Like they and people get addicted to that. They want you to get it, so you just buy it and buy it. It's gross, dude.
Well, and then you have the problem with big corporations that do reviews on these games, where they're given a credit card and they said, "Go drop $1,000." $1,000 in those microtrans, so you can get all the gear. The last time I checked, it's $1,400 is what it would take to securely buy everything in Overwatch.
What the fuck?
Because of how much you get all the duplicates,
all of the possible options.
Yes. Because there is a ton of gear in that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, most characters have
like 6 skins.
Yeah, it's like 100 pieces per character.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's a problem I have with those microtransactions. If I'm going in and I know I'm buying let's just say a legendary pike or whatever, or a legendary weapon or skin or whatever, and I know what my money is going to and I know what I'm spending it on.
Right.
I don't have as much heartburn, I guess.
Yeah.
I have a real heartburn when I'm spending $5 and I'm getting random stuff and I'm praying that I get something that I need.
Yeah, and to support that, I've done that. I have used microtransactions to buy a specific thing that I want. I've done that before, for sure.
Oh, yeah, I have too. There's been games where I've tried to do something where, I will admit it, when I was really into, what was the game that I was playing that was really bad like that? Oh, well, back in the day when I was really into World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
That was, and this was before microtransactions were in World of Warcraft. I got so tired of running a raid to try to get a specific helmet. I went on a website and found a legitimate website where they grind and find gear for you. And I had paid $20, and they sent me a nice little letter in the mail on WoW with a thank you letter, and I picked up my gear right there, and I had it. And I felt like spending the $20 for that helmet totally justified not having to spend
20 hours.
Exactly, it justified not having to put another 15, 20 hours of potentially not rolling this helmet.
Sure.
So yeah, in that regards, if I'm somebody who's on a time crunch, I can see why that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm. But
I don't want it to gambling. It's the fact that they're going after that mental addiction of rolling dice, and it's more sinister than a marketplace. Like, hey, here's some cool things you can buy.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, hope you get what you want, but probably not. Try again. Like, oh, that shit's gross. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan. I hope they change the shaders thing because they're getting a lot of.
Oh, they're getting
a lot of shade.
Ton of shade thrown their way.
I had to do that. Had to go there. The punniest place in the land.
Oh, it's hilarious. I mean, if you the Reddit community has been up in arms about that.
Of course they have.
And I mean, they've been very positive about the game. I mean, there's a lot of people that came into the community who were saying, "Oh, I played Destiny 1, I hated it, but I'm playing Destiny 2 and I like it." But there's a lot of people too that are still throwing the utmost shade that are saying that this is Destiny reskinned.
Reskinned, yeah. I don't think that's quite fair.
It isn't. I feel like they gave us a story. They finally gave us some of the missing pieces from the last one. I just feel like two things. And this kind of wraps up a lot of this.
This is perfect because we're right at an hour.
They should never release this game this early. I think that we need another year to 6 months.
Okay.
2, I think they also should have done more as far as looking at the map design. Map design.
Not for multiplayer,
No, not multiplayer. Only the single player. The single player landscaping in this game is just shit. It doesn't feel right. It flows. A lot of the maps flow very wonky.
Yeah.
And it's just not. It's not very. There's just the pacing just feels off.
Yeah, I've even early on, I've kind of noticed that. Like, I'm like, wait, do I go this way? And then I'll try it and it'll work. But I was like, I can't tell if this area's off limits or not. Like, will I die if I go down there? I'll try. Oh, yep. Okay, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
So I mean, we're gonna see a lot of different things coming down the line. I'm excited to see the future of this game, where it goes. I'm giving it my support. Reluctantly.
I think I'll probably pick it up. Actually,
I am gonna pick it up. It is on my pickup list. I'm gonna finish
I love
it.
the idea of you and me and maybe Mason or someone that else is going to be convinced as well. Like, I love the idea of having like a dedicated group, because the thing for me with Overwatch, I think it's one of the best like multiplayer games ever made, gameplay wise. I love it. I love playing with you guys. But like, if we play it once a week, it's all about the gameplay. And the thing about Destiny that kind of makes me want to play it is that there's that progression. You get the new armor and the guns, and like that grabs me a little bit more.
Well, and you're also understanding that you can do more in this game.
Yeah.
We can play this game in more ways than we can play Overwatch.
And
Overwatch is a multiplayer.
I like the idea of having
a
fire team.
Exactly. And in Overwatch, you have to be competitive. You have to have that mindset that we're going to go in and win, and we got to have the strategy down, and everybody's got pressure on them. This game, we can start off and we go, hey, let's go run a strike real quick. Yeah. Or let's go run a couple of missions, and if we don't, and be done. Or if we feel like running Crucible, we can say, hey, let's be competitive and let's go run Crucible.
Yeah, there's a lot of options to do.
There's that balance of you can pick and choose how you want to play with your friends, which is awesome. I honestly will say it's been a long time since I've found a game that I can do that.
Right.
Most of the time, most games that I pick up with friends is we're going to go play multiplayer and we're going to go get killed a whole bunch.
Or we'll do great.
But
at the end of the day, you played the same maps and the same game modes with the same things.
Oh, one more thing before we get off the whole kick.
Perfect. Yeah, we got a little bit of time.
Destiny 2 has fantastic playlists, map rotations, and
not a lot of like repeats and stuff.
And the fact that I think I've only played like 2 maps the same since I've gotten there. I've played like 15 Crucible matches.
So there's
probably
like 13 to 16 maps.
Yes, and I've also probably played maybe the same game type only 3 times. And so the game types, there's a lot of game types. We played one today that I haven't played.
We did 2 matches.
Yeah, and the one I never played, which was
you never. Yeah, I was like, I'll follow you. You know the map. Like, nope, never seen this map.
Nope.
Like, you're level 14, yeah?
Yeah.
That was cool. I was having a blast. Like, I'm looking forward to keep playing.
Oh, yeah, dude. And we'll, like I said, hopefully we'll get another podcast here soon.
And we will.
And we can do a continuation of this and talk more
maybe when we get into the end game, once we buy the game and we get into the end game.
That's what I'm saying.
Once we can come back and do another recap.
And then we can talk about how much we hate it. And this was the biggest mistake of our lives.
No, because like I feel like I learned that about Destiny 1.
So you've accepted the flaws.
Real fast. Like, dude, it took me probably less than 10 hours of gameplay to be like, what the fuck is this? With Destiny 1. It was fast, dude. I was like, what is going on?
It did take me a little bit. I really got frustrated when I learned that there wasn't anything ever going to happen as far as the story.
So Tim and I played the story a second time around. I wanted to go back and give it another shot. And we accidentally skipped the whole story and finished the storyline. What?
Yeah, that game was a huge problem.
That's what I'm saying. It was like I was like, this game is just shit.
And you can do that in Destiny 2 really easily as far as the side missions go. I've gotten distracted on the side missions and completely been oblivious to where the main quest is.
Yeah, but you won't miss. You're still gonna have to go back and do that.
Yes.
Tim and I played
and
Destiny 1,
skip a part.
and we accidentally didn't do an entire section of story and beat the game.
Wow.
So on the map, because I'd already played it, everything was already unlocked for me, but not for him, because he had not played it up to that point, all the way through. So I was like, okay, so what mission are we on? Because we would be like a week before we play. What mission are we on? Where are we going? And so we clicked on one mission, and then there were two options for missions. We picked B, and that took us to the end of the game within a couple missions, and we were done with the story, and we hadn't even gone to, like, Mars.
Wow.
At all.
That's crazy.
And I was like, wait, how do we accidentally beat the game without playing the whole... It was just terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, man. I'm excited to keep playing.
I think we're going to probably, try to play some tonight?
Well, I was thinking, too, if you guys... This will be put up on Monday. Monday evening. So most people hear this on Tuesday. So we'll probably... If we end up buying it, which I think we're going to, if we end up buying it, because I'm going to take it back and probably just buy it here soon. We will most likely be playing like Crucible or whatever on your Twitch stream.
Yes, we'll be streaming some strikes and all that good stuff and raids, and we'll have some shenanigans on there.
So I can put a link to your Twitch channel in the description on YouTube.
Okay, awesome.
But what is your Twitch information? I don't remember.
Oh, my Twitch information is Gaming with Hayes 546. That's my actual gamer tag. So if you guys have Xbox Live and ever looking for anybody to play with, you can go ahead and feel free to add me. I stream at least once or twice a week. Various games, different stuff. Still working on getting all the equipment set up for streaming, but I got a decent setup right now. So
yeah, and we stream Overwatch. We streamed Overwatch for a while. We have like some history. Yeah, we have some videos on there. And that's Hayes, Haze.
Yeah, 546.
546. So find us. We'll probably be doing Crucible on Twitch at some point. Maybe not with the rented copies.
Yeah, not with the rented copies. I would say once we've hit level 20 and we've geared up a little bit more, we'll probably be doing more of that until we see more raids and stuff. But definitely, I think we'll be running around playing some games for sure.
Very cool. So keep an eye on that. I will put that link in the description. So it'd be really cool if you go down there and subscribe to Doug's Twitch channel. You will definitely catch any and all Destiny that we'll be playing in the future. Doug, man, thank you so much for joining me on this. And I hope to have you back soon, dude.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I had a blast. And it was
next time we'll get fucking Mason in here, who bailed on us.
What a loser.
I know, right?
Dude, came the whole way over here to hang out with Mason. And then I find out he's
like, well, it's kind of my fault.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know how to use his iPhone. He has the easiest phone to use in the world, and he still can't send text messages. Can't press that blue button, bro.
Hey, man, I saw it today. I was like, oh, shit, it's so good. I'm just distracted, bro.
You're just distracted? The clouds got you?
I did that on purpose because there's a kid that stutters in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on episode 28. We will catch you next week. And enjoy the rest of your work week. Later!